Are you in a bad place right now? Maybe a bit of a dark place, and life just feels really difficult, and you're wondering if you're going to get out of this dark place. Well, I've been there, and today I wanted to give you five very simple tips that have helped me. And again, it's just me sharing my personal story. So see what resonates with you. So welcome to the Men's Mental Health podcast today. This is really, really dear to my heart, what I'm going to talk about today, because I've been in the place where I really did not see like there would be a good time in my life again. And I want to be as transparent as possible on this podcast, and it's actually getting me quite emotional. That was me at the start of this year. If you go back and look at my episodes a few months ago, I'm being very raw and real. But there was a part of me that knew I had to talk and I had to share. There are some seriously down episodes, and I knew I had to be honest and open. I think there's not enough honesty and openness in this world, personally, in my opinion. And it makes everyone think like, I don't know about you, but it's made me feel like I'm alone. Like everyone else has got a great life when you see it on Instagram or Facebook. Everyone's showing their highlights of the highs. And maybe a happy couple show them smiling in some great location, but they're arguing afterwards or miserable behind the scene, or someone's like, look at me and my new car, and actually they're miserable inside. But I've certainly felt alone, and I went to a real low point earlier this year. Situation really hurt me in particular, but it wasn't the situation itself, although it was hurtful, that it went into deeper things of myself, grief, losses from years that I needed to dive into. And I suddenly felt like I'd never been in a good place. And I'm in one of the most joyful, it's getting to me because I just feel so good, so happy right now. I never thought I'd be like this happy. I never thought I'd be like 3 weeks ago. I was on the beach in California and I was crying because I was happy. I was like, I made it happen. It had been in my vision for so long. I felt so happy that I'd made that. And I'd crawled out from such a dark place. And I think I've shared, it was a dating relationship situation that really hurt me. It caught me completely by surprise. A situation that was so beautiful, so amazing, and then suddenly went to completely the flip side. And being in a place now where I'm full of mission, full of purpose, loving what I'm doing and who I am. And the people around me are incredible. The friends and communities I've made, even met someone pretty cool recently. She's awesome. And yeah, I've been in some tough places in my life, and I thought it was really important to talk about this from being on the other side of that real dark place and the thoughts getting quite dark. Honestly, in my life, like a couple of years ago, I've been in places where I didn't want to be here. There's a difference, I believe, between thinking about it and actually doing it. I wasn't on the stage of wanting to do anything about actually not being here, but I've been in places a couple of years back where it's like, would I matter if I wasn't here? And it was more like I didn't see hope in life. So I want to be raw and real on this. And this is a guy who had done a lot of work on his mindset and interviewed people on mindset every week, right? But you sometimes have to go through deep experiences to grow and become more. So I want to talk to you on that side, because if you're in a dark place, I really hear you. I really send you a lot of love. I really been there. Particularly as a man. So here are my tips I want to share with you today. Number one, talk. And I want to add to this very quickly before you hear the cliche, you need to talk, that we hear in mental health. I think it's true. You need to talk to the right people. Talking to the wrong people can make it even worse, in my personal view. And the wrong people can also be very good people, but they're not the right people for you. you know, just when I say the wrong people, I'm not talking about people who are like, just like don't treat people well, disrespectful. Like I'm talking, it's mainly people I found who had a good intention, but they weren't there in terms of themselves and looking after their own emotions. So therefore, they did not have the capacity to hold space for me, or they just weren't good at listening. So find people who make you feel good, genuinely. I've got people in my life who love me, and I'm like, if they offer to listen to me or hold space for me, I'm like, thank you very much. But I've got someone else to talk to. But thank you so much. Appreciate you offering, because I know they don't have that ability, or they're just going to throw their own advice onto me or make me feel worse. And I'll give you an example. I was really hurt from a dating situation, and I talked to two friends and completely different outcomes. One friend, and both female, both, two friends in my life, in my network. And I spoke to one of them, and I spoke to her, and her questions were like, let's figure out where you're going wrong. That increased my anxiety 10 times. I started going, what is wrong with me? What have I done wrong? I knew that person was working through her own trauma, but I still had a conversation with her. That was the wrong decision. Beautiful human being, but just wasn't the right person to hold the space for me. And again, it's just about what's right for you. Spoke to a second person who had gone through so much, but really had gone beautiful leader, really had mastered her stuff. And she held space for me so much that I was just like, wow, I feel so much better. I shared that with you. I spoke to Samaritans on the phone, a great helpline in the UK. They held space for me. Beautiful listeners, got the skills. Free helpline, call anytime. I cried to them on the phone, really powerful. Find the right people to talk to. That's key. If you want to start, you don't want to talk to friends and family, pick up the helpline. That is a massive win, in my view. It was a massive win for me. Even break it down into tiny steps. Write the number into your phone, step 1. Click call, step 2. Just say, hello, I'd like to talk to someone, but I'm struggling what to say. And they will guide you. Okay? And if it's outside a helpline and it's just one of your friends and you talk to them, you don't feel good, that may hurt, but be reassured that people can listen. There are people who hold space in this world. Find someone who makes you feel good. It's okay to say no. Number 2, if you're in a dark place, just do 3 small habits, not 20 things on your to-do list. Now, this is coming from an achiever who was like, I got to do this, this, and this, even though I feel horrible. That is like saying I'm not listening to my own emotions because I don't deserve myself the time to process them. No. Give yourself small things to do. I remember Brendan Bouchard, who's one of the top coaches in the world, said when he was in the darkest places, it was like going for a shower is a win. Now, like, he's a multi-millionaire and his productivity levels are insane now, right? And he coaches people like Tony Robbins, who's the other top coach in the world, right? So a master of productivity and high performance. But he was in a place in his life where it's like going for a shower is a win. You may be there. Don't compare yourself to other people. Like me getting out of bed was a win. I've been in places where getting out of bed was a win. But setting yourself 3 small habits you can do each day, right? And they may be 2 things you say yes to and 1 thing you say no to, all right? Actually, we'll say 3 things to say yes. So I'll go on to the things you say no to later as a later tip. So could be like writing, it could be journaling, and the journaling target could be like writing 2 sentences or 1 sentence. It could be just 10 deep breaths each day. That's a win for you, because Success builds on success, and it just can be small. Don't compare yourself to what you can usually do at your best, right? When you're feeling your best. Break it down. Number 3, kind of touches on what I just said, but a really important point is have more rest and keep things to a minimal. If you've got a job, you got to do your job, obviously. But don't over try to perform. Don't try and over impress people. If you've got a business, keep it to the minimal. You know, you may be a parent. I'm not a parent. But yeah, take as much rest as you can on your situation. I do appreciate it's different for everyone. I'm not saying like, a guy in his early 20s who's really down and has got kind of like a part-time job at the moment. He's going to have like the same amount of time to rest as like a dad of 3 who's like in a leadership position in a like high tech firm or something, high business like tech firm or something like that. No, I'm not saying you're going to have the same amount of time to rest, right? But find as much time you can rest as possible and be very honest with yourself. Number 4, working on narrative with yourself. Become very conscious of the words and just have some kind of dialogue with yourself. Whether it's find what's best for you. Maybe it's talking to yourself, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's making voice notes yourself, whatever it is for you, find what the best is for you. And then number 5, avoid, and I'm going to be honest and open on this for me, avoid things that are going to make you feel worse. This is where I get quite vulnerable on things I've had to, give up. I've given up alcohol because, in all honesty, in the past, it has been a problem when I've been in a bad place. I've been on like 2-3 day drinking spells in the past. That's why when I went into my last dark spell, with the emotional work I'd done, I knew I had a drink and then I knew I had to stop. I haven't drunk in a month. I haven't drunken in months, like over 4 months, because I knew I had to process a lot. I'm so glad I have. But like, I felt so awful after the drink and I knew I had to process the emotions. And in the past, I remember when it really hurt not working out with someone a couple of years ago. And I just like drunk on the way back from there and drunk. And I just kept, drinking. It just made me feel worse. Like it's been a problem. Another thing for me that's been a problem has been social media checking. You can see certain things, check certain people's profiles and things like that, and it can be damaging. Like if I'm like friends with someone on Facebook, or connected with someone, for example, let's be honest about this. Say I was dating someone and this has happened and I'm like connected with them on social media. Like we're friends or whatever, and you see people's stuff come up on Instagram or Facebook or maybe their story and it's not worked out with them and you need your space, block them. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. That's what I've done. In the past I haven't, and it was really damaging. Like I've seen a couple of months later she's like in a relationship or something and that's really hurt me. If you bump into them in the street and you're local, you can't really do much about that. But social media, so like this year, like I just completely blocked someone and I told her I was going to and she accepted it. Because I didn't want to do more damage to me. I don't want to be being hurt by someone and then seeing them, whatever, just like doing things in their life, like whether it's like dating someone else or not, like you don't want to be seeing that other person's life anymore. If it's like that person's hurting you, and it doesn't just mean dating, but often it does. If someone like a friend or someone who's like upset you or said something and then you're seeing them on social media and it's like bringing back bad memories, block them, like move away from them. You don't even have to justify why you're blocking them, right? But doing things like that, cutting out things like alcohol, has really been a big thing for me. Just look at the external things that could make you feel worse in a dark place and cut them out. You may think, it's willpower and I'm not going to resist. What you can do, this is what I suggest you do. Get an accountability partner, someone who's going to hold you accountable. This is what I've done. Be very honest about what you're cutting out. And don't make too many things because you'll get exhausted. Just a few, like maybe a couple of really bad habits or things that really make you feel worse. And tell that person, and they can be quite addictive, unfortunately, as well. Tell that person that you're going to give yourself a forfeit and a rule for if you do it. Like I say, I'm going to pay my accountability partner 200 quid if I do something, mess up. I've never had to pay him 200 quid, which is great. Or give yourself a reward, like something you're going to do for not doing the bad things each week. And then put things set yourself up to win. So you don't have to rely on pure willpower, but that's a system in itself, being accountable to someone else, getting them to check in with you. Say, look, I really need to give this up, this habit. Social media is a terrible thing for looking on and comparing ourselves, looking at other people's lives. So that could be something to cut out. I found that's really challenging for me. Again, this is just being honest. And I know I'm not alone with that. I know people kind of like can see other people's lives and it makes them feel a lot worse, particularly if it's someone you're close to. So yeah, just do what I did this year and just completely block out any association you have with someone. Like, it sounds brutal, but like I will cut someone off if like I'm hurt by them. And it's not like saying you're wrong. It's like saying I need my boundaries, I need my space, and for my mental health, I can't be associated with that anymore. Some people, you may fall out with someone or not work out or whatever, and you can still be friends and that doesn't impact you. But for me, certain things do. Like there's also been like in the dating relationship things, I've not worked out with someone, I'm fine to still keep friends with them, whatever. No hard feelings, but sometimes it might impact you more. And these are just examples, but for you, you'll know your own triggers or things that make you feel worse. So cut them out as well. Be very, very aware. And again, don't make it complicated on these things. So just going through these things, because I'm conscious I've given you a bit, and it's when you're in a very dark place, but it's very simple. One, the right people. It can even be as simple as just calling a helpline. You'll never get over the fear of calling a helpline until you call the helpline, unfortunately. But break it down, write a number in your phone, hit ring, and just say, I don't know what to say, or I'm struggling right now, and just move forward from there, even if that's as far as you get. Little progress. Number 3, small habits every single day. That's number 2. It's 3 small habits. Number 3 is have as much rest as you can. I appreciate everyone's different, but do that as much as possible. Number 4, have some kind of narrative or dialogue to yourself. You can speak to yourself a little bit each day. Maybe your inner child dialogue's a good one. Talking to yourself like you're inner child. Number 5, avoid bad behaviors. Find systems to cut them out. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.